What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Hill, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this dark trap beat completely from scratch inside of the Maschine. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to open a new file. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the BPM to 140 for a faster, typical trap type beat. The idea that I had in mind was to go for a bell sound, and I found that in Analog Lab by Arturia. Here's that. And I did a lot of searching, but I'll save you time and I'll just tell you what I came across. Let's see, so is this one here? So I'll use that, and then, so that's loaded up. I typically make my beats in minor, so when I go to keyboard mode, I'll switch it to minor, so I can play all the minor keys. And then in this beat, I kept it in C minor, so I'll keep this how it is. Now I'll record what I made. I'll turn the metronome on. So one thing I'll do going into this, I'll set the pattern. Right now it's set to auto, and I know I want this to be in 4 bars, so I'll set the length to 4. I'll go back to keyboard mode, and now I'll hit Shift Record. Now I'll hit quantize. So some of these beats are a little off. Just gonna manually shift it with my mouse. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Okay, that sounds good. With that, next thing I felt like moving on to was the drums. So I'm gonna load a new group. I love, for trap beats, I use this expansion pack here, Pure Drip. And then for this one I used the blue kit. So here it is loaded up. I use this kick and this snare. Again, I'm gonna set the pattern to 4 bars. So I'm gonna record the snare first. Quantize it. Now I'm gonna do the kick. Next up, I'm gonna do a closed hi-hat. I'm gonna use the note repeat button, set it on 1/8. So this is what it'll sound like. Let's see, and then I might switch it up at the end to 1/16. Let me switch it up right here. So now I'm gonna edit some of these. Let me go into events. I'm gonna change the length. Let's see, I'll just turn this pitch down just to see what it sounds like. Let's see. Let's make this one shorter. Let's add another one there. Let's bring that back up to see. So after this, I wanted to add a choir. So for this, I used Omnisphere. So let me load a Omnisphere. Okay, so we have Omnisphere, and I'll save you the trouble, but I did a lot of browsing through all the choir sounds. Go to human voices, all, is this one it? Okay. I think this one's it. This is what I'll use, and this is what I'll load. And I want this beat to follow the same notes and the same progression as the bells. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to the pattern with the bells. I'll hit copy all. And I could do this on the controller too, but I'm just doing it on my keyboard. So copy all the notes from this pattern with the bells, and then I'm going to paste it. I'll do this part on the controller. The progression's pasted here, and let's see what that sounds like. And I wanted to add some reverb to it. Let me add this reverb here. Let's look at, I'm gonna increase this time. Let me increase the room a little bit. So now I'm going to add a little bit more to the drums. I feel like I like a crash at the beginning of this, so let me just click it in here. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can add another hat. So I like this here, maybe here. Yeah, I feel like these two hats right here just kind of fill in this empty space. I think it adds a little more variation to this. So next I needed some thump to the beat. So I'm going to use the 808 that comes with this kit. We go to minor again. Quantize that. Okay, so we have the 808 now. Next step, to give it a darker sound, I wanted to add a type of chord progression. So let's add another group. And I went to instruments for this one. And I really love using Hybrid Keys piano. Let's see what I used. I think I used Ambient Planet. And then I'll go to chords. Yeah, I kept it in minor, harmonic 135. Sounds a little low, so I'm gonna go up 1 octave. Okay, so that's what I did there. So let me record this progression. Pattern at 8, go back. After this, I wanted to add a bit of a counter melody, I guess. So I think I used Ambient Planet Hybrid Keys again. I'll load up a new instance of it. So I'll go to browser again, I'm gonna go to Hybrid Keys, Ambient Planet, I'm gonna load this. I'll go to keyboard this time. I want something at a little bit of a higher note to fill out the higher end of the frequency spectrum. All right, so this is what I did here. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Let me raise this up a little bit. So with that, I basically have all the elements that I want in this song. And at this point, I would start mixing and mastering and adjusting the sounds. So one thing I like to do is beef up this kick right here so it punches through and it hits harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to my kicks. I like to add a transient master and a compressor. So I'll add this transient master and I'll increase the attack to let you hear the difference. This is exaggerated. Usually I just like it to hit a little harder, and then I'll see if I like bringing up the sustain. So now I'll add a compressor just to see if I like just a little more thump to it. Okay, let's see how that sounds with the rest of the kit. Okay, now let me bring back the rest of the track. I'm also just going to increase the level on this kick. Now I'm just kind of listening to see where I want to set the levels for everything. This hi-hat right here sounds a little loud, so I'm going to bring it down. I think I'm gonna bring the choir up. I'll start arranging the beat here, and this is how I usually like to do it. Let's see. I'll start off with the bells first. So after that, then I want to bring in, I'll duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this scene. I'm going to bring in pattern 1, but I don't want to have all of this playing at once. So I'm going to copy this pattern. I'm going to hit Option and drag down. Usually I make a couple. So in this pattern, I really just want the kick and the snare. So I will drop out, let's see, I'll drop out that, and basically I'll drop this out too. So now we have this. I'll duplicate this again to make a new scene, and then I might bring in the hi-hat. Take this out for now. Okay, so after that, I might bring in the 808. So I'm gonna hit duplicate, and then I'll go to this. Let me just make another copy here. So I'll keep the 808 in, leave this in for when the beat drops. So let's see what that sounds like. I might bring the choir in at this point too. Envision that I'll bring in the chord progression, so I'm going to duplicate this again and I'll add the chord progression. Then I'll duplicate again and I'll bring in a counter melody. I'll probably use this pattern here that has everything in it, so let's see what that sounds like. Let me see, I might keep this pattern here that's a little less busy. Let's start with this. So after I have some of these scenes, I'll go to scene and I'll go to append, and I'll just go with these in order. So now I have a little song laid out. I'll hit ideas mode and go shift song. And now you can see my song here laid out. It's very basic arrangement. It's not for any artist to hop on, but we can listen to what it sounds like. So right here, it's kind of like a build-up point, and I kind of want to drop some things out. So I might just add an empty clip here and see how that sounds. I like that build-up right there, so I want to bring this in full power with the drums again. But one thing I like adding like a riser to build the tension. So I'm going to open this new group here, and I'll go to browser, and this is a pack that I saved myself that I compiled sounds from Splice. So I'll go to user, groups. I call it risers and downlift, and then I'll kind of sample which risers, which sounds I want. So not that one, not that one, no. So maybe we'll go with this one. So if I like this one here, what I'm going to do is I'll create a clip, and then I'll have this selected. I'm going to go to plugin, sound, and see how it says sampler right here? I want to turn this into an audio module, so I hit this 40 encoder in, and then I go to audio right here and I'll press load. And now you can see that this riser is loaded here. Let's see how this sounds. I'd adjust the volume here. I'll probably drop this out, and let's see. Let's see if I add some space here. Let me shorten this up. I want to create like a little gap between the drop. So let me see. Probably keep that in there. All right. Let's see how that sounds from the beginning. All right, so there's the dark trap beat. And this is, like I said, just a basic arrangement. If you want to arrange this for an artist, you would obviously have to do things differently. But I just wanted to lay out an arrangement for you that shows the progression of the sounds being added. And that's how I made this dark trap beat here. And this is my first how-to tutorial when it comes to Maschine and producing. I'm still a beginner myself, but I wanted to share this and hopefully I could help out another beginner who's just trying to make their first beat. And they could follow the steps here. You don't have to use this plugins like Omnisphere or Arturia's analog. You could replace them with other sounds, but hopefully with this you could follow the workflow to create this beat and build it up. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and this was pretty fun. I look forward to making more and hopefully getting better at explaining and teaching with each tutorial that I do. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.